Hey folks, I'm out here at the world headquarters of Kenetrek Boots.
The world.
With the brains, the founder, what would I call you other than Jim Winjum, the luckiest hunter in the world?
I would say the first to the table. That would be me.
Okay. So we're here at their showroom. In this video, we're going to cover about boot selection.
Right.
Because you have the whole array of so many different boots, it can almost be overwhelming.
It is, yeah.
So, what questions would you ask me, or what things would we go through to follow the decision tree that gets me to the right boot for my application?
We'll start with a little bit of a heritage of our company, like what our strength is. Our strength has always been sheep hunting, or what you'd call mountain hunting. And you know you experienced recently, right? That's a very big task.
Yes, very intensive.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than, say in the East, where you're just walking to a tree stand or something like that. Completely different ramifications. I mean, you're typically asking your body to go through really difficult, uneven terrain, variety of different sole surfaces, right? I mean, like as far as you're hitting scree, you're hitting muskeg, you're boulder hopping on streams, lots of up and down, lots of side hilling. The requirement for support is pretty intense. Right. Also to be waterproof, because a lot of times those environments are
crossing a lot of creeks.
Yeah, the weather is
flow,
just ridiculous too. It can be anyway. So that's kind of the heritage where we started with the boots, and so what we did is we, traditionally those boots, what you'd call mountaineering or approach type boots, they've been very stiff. Like you look at a boot, and to provide that kind of support that's required, you look at what's called torsional rigidity. And so you grab a boot like this and you twist that boot. Okay. Right? And you can tell that boot is stiff enough that you picture if you're standing on a spike or something like that, or a very sharp rock, that your whole entire foot is going to be supported. Okay. And so that puts this boot in a really, what I'd call a stiff category. Now the challenge is you also want to not have a boot that weighs 5 pounds each, right? That was historically, what happened. And so because of the marvel of modern materials, we've basically created a boot that is incredibly light in weight and yet has that support. And then the final key that we've really gone after is to create a boot that is comfortable to wear. So this would be like the Mountain Extreme, and so that's a 10-inch high boot. We also have a hiking height, because some people just prefer a shorter boot, a little bit better for hotter weather, that kind of thing. But this boot is available non-insulated, then with 400 grams of Thinsulate, and then also 1,000 grams of Thinsulate.
This one here looks like it has almost some orthopedic type support to it.
Yes, this boot we actually developed with some physicians. We call this Everstep. And so what this is it actually has an AFO brace that's built right into the boot. So it has removable nylon stays to give you the ultimate in support.
So if I told you, all right, I'm going antelope hunting, and that's probably going to be mostly on prairie, broken foothill country. That's probably calls for a different sole stiffness than if I tell you, hey, I'm going mountain goat hunting.
Right. Like I say, many of our customers end up wearing this boot and they fall in love with the support, so they use it all the time no matter what. But for a lighter alternative, well, this is also a popular boot we came up with called the Safari, and it's even lighter, has a much less aggressive outsole, still a good outsole, still has pretty good, support, but a shorter boot, non-waterproof boot, so it's actually better for use in hot weather, and this has been a really, really popular boot.
A big part of when people come in, because I've seen you at shows, Jim, and you've got people stacked 5 deep at your booth, and you guys are fitting people and you're asking more questions than you're answering.
Right. I mean, you start off with obviously what are you after, because that kind of tells a little bit of what type of hunt is this going to be. Like I say, is it you're hunting in a tree stand where warmth is going to be the absolute most essential part? Are you hunting in like you say for antelope, right, where it's rolling hills, prairie, lots of miles still required, or mountains, right? Like you say, I'm hunting elk or I'm hunting mountain sheep or something like that. And then the next question is, where are you hunting? Because obviously, as you know, elk vary from, some really nasty areas to relatively mild areas.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're doing. And then the next question, of course, is what time of year are you hunting?
Yeah.
You know, is it an early season bow hunt or is it a late rifle hunt? You know, and again, is it north, is it south? Because that's a variety of temperatures that come into play as well.
Before we wrap that up, I've got this one here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Women's feet aren't necessarily the same as men's feet.
They
right?
are not. They are not.
So a lot of these models, you also have
That's correct.
specific
Yeah,
to women.
this boot right here, you can't just shrink and call it a women's. It has to be
Really? So the
completely
people who do
different.
that are like, oh, we'll just change the sizing,
Yeah,
same boot, but we'll change the sizing and call them women's.
That's not the same, though. Absolutely not.
So the reason I say that is that since we're talking about boot selection, if a woman hunter is looking for a boot,
Yes.
don't let someone come and talk you into, oh, you just use this guy's boot, but just get
Right.
the size that fits you.
Right.
Well, there you have it, folks. Appreciate it, Jim.
You're welcome.
For giving us the time here.
Yeah, you're
and
very welcome.
Hopefully people will lessen the number of those stories, those nightmares of someone got into the wrong boot.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.